So looking at you, Tejasva, I get this feeling that you were little cognitively capable since the very beginning, is what I get from the way you have chosen first the engineering degree, aced there, then you took the maths way, and then you have gone to UPSC and cracked that.
So all credits to my mother in my formative years, because she has sacrificed a lot. So she always wanted to be a government teacher. She couldn't do so, and I still remember that she, when I was little, she always wanted me to enroll into the best school, and she made me in my initial, I think, first class or like LKG or UKG, she made me start practicing the cursive writing.
Hello everyone, my name is Richa Sharma and I am the program head of Step Up Mentorship Program. Before beginning the podcast, we offer deep condolences to the innocent victims of the Pahalgam tragic incident. Tejasva, would you like to say anything about this?
I would say that I have similar deep condolences, and it's a tragic incident, and our prayers to our martyrs.
So now let's get back to the podcast. Imagine cracking one of the toughest examinations of the country while also mentoring students alongside, while also running a marathon and also being a prolific math genius from IIT. Today we have with us someone who is known amongst us for taking a lot of bold, unconventional paths, not just for UPSC exam, but also in his mentorship approach. So we have with us Tejasva, who has cracked the examination with flying colors. We are very happy for you. And before beginning this, actually, me and Chintu sir had this discussion few months back that Tejasva is more likely to, we are more likely to see his name in the PDF. And finally, this has happened. Finally, you're in the seat. So congratulations. We are very proud of you, Tejasva. How are you feeling?
First of all, thank you, ma'am, and the whole Vajiram team. I am feeling very elated, blessed, and it's finally that I will not have to write any more papers and give more exams. So I'm feeling blessed and truly grateful.
Okay. So you mentioned that you have taken the exams multiple times. So could you take me back to the point where you actually decided that you're going to start the preparation, and what was your motivation behind that?
So I have done my graduation from IIT Delhi. I passed out in 2020. So my grandfather demised in 2017. So he was into veterinary services, and seeing him closely, I have seen that he had always put service before self. So that was one of the most integrate moments in my life where I decided that I would want my grandfather's legacy to be carried forward. And the most the nearest exam that I thought that would lead me there was the civil services exam, and then my journey began, ma'am.
You also told me that you are one among the first in your entire area to crack the paper. That itself is a very big feat. How your parents are feeling about this?
Parents are extremely grateful, and even I was shocked when my village people, villagers, they told me that I was the first IAS from my village, Kosli. So it's a very humbling feeling, and I'm very elated. I can just say that.
That's great. That's amazing. We are also very, very proud of you. Very happy for you. You're also one among the mentors that have cracked from Vajiram for the first time. So we are very happy with this news. Now, Tejasva, also tell me, how were you able to navigate through multiple failures? Because they could be humbling, but at the same time frustrating, together. So how were you able to navigate that part? What was your main motivation or drive that kept you going?
So here I would like to say that 2020 attempt and my 2021 attempt, I could not clear prelims. And my score was it was quite low. It was like 40 to 50 marks out of 200 in both these attempts. So that moment was very tragic for me also, because I had put in efforts but they were not yielding. So, but then I learned about a philosophy which one of my friend was practicing actually, and he told me that you are actually doing what stoicism is, that you believe in the worst circumstances.
Seneca.
Yes, ma'am. And it helped me a lot And in 2022, my prelim score was 120. So it
That's
jumped from
great.
40 to 120. And it was just because it gave me a sense of a neutral path in thinking and living, where you're not feeling very excited, you're not feeling very low. You're just seeing things, and you realize that the effects and the outcomes of the things are very momentous. They have very few momentary life. So, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Through that, I was able to cope up with the stress.
Okay, that's amazing. Regarding the prelims thing, I'm really curious, how were you able to jump up from not clearing prelims to scoring 120? As you've told. So what were the strategies? Because prelims is also coming, so our students would also like to know this. Can you break down the 5 essentials of cracking prelims paper?
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. So the first would be like limited sources, standard books. And here I would specifically quote that your static syllabus becomes more important than your dynamic part. So static has a huge advantage. So static, try to think static as an soul of your examination. And the rest, bodily appearance, as dynamic. So in terms of philosophy also, you can connotate into these two aspects. So enrich your soul, it will be very empowering. Static, that means I'm saying that revise your static as many times as you can. So keep your books very standard, like polity, Lakshmikant, geography, NCRTs, but revise them multiple times, because you will see direct questions from there. Secondly, PYQs become very important. So knowing about the trends, and even I have seen during my mentorship in the Vajiram only, that your score will get very inflated once you start solving your PYQs and you have your standard books in your synchronous. So it helps a lot. Thirdly will be, do not get demotivated when you get low marks in the mock tests. Try on improvising and rectifying the errors. So that's one of the most important thing for the prelims exam.
Okay. Regarding your preparation, take us to the preparation story, the preparation phase. So, how did your typical daily routine look like? And what were the non-negotiables for you? Like, I remember you used to always focus on lessening the noise and distraction around you. Your main focus was ki if I'm studying something, I should be be highly productive in that. So this is something that I have noticed from your work ethic. But apart from that, how did your daily routine look like, and what were the non-negotiables?
So for me, the biggest non-negotiable has been doing physical workouts, because that eventually helps you release your dopamine, and it gives you that strength to carry your day forward. And secondly, to keep your noise away, just focus on yourself. There will be thousands of distraction, people saying negative things, and there can be distractions also. It's hard, it's tough, but you shut them away while you are reading something, because then giving that one newspaper article 100% devotion yields you a lot of knowledge, encompassing various subjects which you can replicate in your even mains answer. So if you have that focus for those limited few hours of the day, it is going to yield thousands of benefits which at that moment you're not able to realize, but while writing, while answering, or while penning down, you will see that come through.
Right. I have also observed one more thing, that you have been very clear-headed, like that clarity was always there with you, what you want to do in which phase of life, which stage of exam. So how did it come along to you so early? I mean, for that much clarity to be there, it's kind of surprising. So I'm just curious.
But here I would like to point out a few things that, the clarity on GS was there, but my optional clarity was not there. So I had chosen mathematics as my optional, and so preparing for the mathematics as an optional simultaneously with GS was difficult. So for GS, I had a clarity that whatever I'm studying, I know through those newspaper, it gives you very good insight at how do you interlink your society with international relations with your internal security. So that due diligence while reading helps you interlink a lot of topics, and that gets reflected while you're writing any mains answer. So that clarity is very much required, and that comes from a lot of focus while reading and penning down your thought, note making, etc. ma'am.
Okay, catching up with that note making thing. So we were having a discussion with Tejasva one day, and he was also telling that he's not a avid note maker. He reads a lot, like a lot, but creates a lot of notes. So what is the idea behind it, and to what extent an aspirant could follow that?
I firmly believe that your note-making journey is also a very self-improving journey. With subsequent attempts, you improvise upon your notes. You know that, okay, these notes which I made earlier are not relevant. They are in my head. Now I want to make my value-added material. So, for example, in the rights, for say fundamental rights, I still remember like penning down those articles like from 13 to 35 article. That is part 3 of the Constitution, and penning down each and every article and writing, and then seeing the Bare Act also. But later, my value-added material was I improvised my notes because the articles were in my head through subsequent attempts, and I wrote some very interesting terms like various doctrines which are used in our fundamental rights test, impact test, direct assessment test. So it is also a very self-improvising journey, and I think with time, your notes become more, I would say, comprehensive, not in the extent or the vast coverage or the number of pages, but they will be limited, but they will be very value enriching notes. So that helped me a lot, ma'am.
Okay, so you focused more on creating crisp but qualitative notes over mindlessly creating a lot of notes.
Yes, ma'am.
So that would save your time, energy.
Yeah.
And that is how you would also push your brain to do active recalling by itself.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. Tejasva, regarding essay, I want to talk. I think this should be an entirely separate podcast because you've been scoring really good marks in essay subsequently. And essay is also a very big pain point because these are of philosophical tonality, so one is not able to crack exactly what is giving them marks. So what has worked for you in essays?
So I would like to tell the aspirants like essay is one of the most creative papers. Like it's that paper where you lend out your all creativity. It gives you that scope to do because it those 10 to 12 pages, you can write about your own story. You can be inspired from someone and then pen it down, or you might have seen some anecdotal references and then you can elucidate in that paper, right? So be creative more in your essay. Try to be unconventional, I must say. And the expression matters a lot. Essay is all about how you have written your essay, the particular expressions that you are using. So one of the most important things which I feel in an essay is that for every expression that you are penning down, in your mind will always have a better expression. So just pause for a second and think whether I could have written a better expression. So for example, if you want to show that the tribals were very poor or they are deprived of nutrition and all, one can easily write their oppressive, suppressive and these terms. A better word, a better articulation can be destitution of poverty. But I have written in my 2022 essay that I used the reference of a shrunken penis, and which was actually being quoted by Mahashweta, which I took help from the Mahashweta Devi works on her tribal works, and she has written that the penis has been so shrunken that the tribal feels actually very malnourished or they're very suppressed. So it's all about the expression per se, I feel a lot more. And for that, the practical strategy which I feel is, so while reading the newspaper or any book which you are reading, I must say that we read editorials in a way that we are trying to get information out from them. Okay. But try to understand what the editor is actually, how editor has formulated the word or his or her line, right? So that would be a very good thing. If you go into the editor's mind and try that what editorial which you are reading is so academic, and our mind has that capacity to replicate. That's just a 15 to 20 days practice, how that sentence formulation has been there in the newspaper, and that will help you a lot because our mind works like that. It will replicate those things in the subsequent when you're penning down the essay. So that I think is a very doable strategy.
Okay. So articulation and also reading little unconventional sources has helped you.
Yes, ma'am.
What made you read these unconventional sources? How did you chalk out time for that?
Because I would say in college also, I was doing multiple humanities courses. In my college offers such this advantage that we can opt from sociology, literature. So there, I was exposed to such sources, and they helped me a lot to build on further.
Okay. One more thing, Tejasva, that in this entire journey, it could become very rigorous as well and very unpredictable going along the way. Have you ever incurred or faced self-doubt or questioned your decision towards going into civil services? Has it ever happened to you? And then how did you bounce back? Because this is something that a lot of students face.
I must say that in each attempt I have faced such situation, and that peaks when you have emotion actually peaks when you have not cleared certain stage of an exam. Like if it's prelims is not round the corner, you will feel it, and you have to give prelims. Then you will feel the peak of this emotion. In between the prelims and the mains of 2024 itself, I thought that I must quit the preparation because I was doing my maths optional, and I was not yielding to my set targets. I was doing it, but it felt like I'm exhausting, and I'm not able to put in all my efforts. Though I'm putting the efforts, but they are not yielding per se, which I have thought about, right? So, but then what happens in prelims, between prelims and mains, you always have that mains date. So that emotion quickly fades away the next morning, and you're always into that rigorous routine. To ease your anxiety during those peak emotions, say post mains or post interview, when you have failed, it's very important to take a break and always reflect upon the shortcomings that have been there, reflect and comes back stronger. And that you will only do when you know what your mistakes are. So that helps a lot, I feel like.
Okay, that's right. So self-introspection.
Yes, ma'am. Self-introspection.
Okay, so Tejasva, again, quoting your one of the bold decisions where you decided to drop out of your PhD program, which itself is a big move. So why did you take that decision? And of course, now, as we see, it has obviously fructified into something very good, and you've become an IAS officer. But what exactly? Why did you do that exactly?
So so it happens like you know that this exam is unpredictable, but you also know that there is always a feeling that you must be simultaneously doing something with the exam. So in that case, I enrolled it into the early admit program of IIT Gandhinagar, where they were offering an integrated master's and a PhD course. But for me personally, it couldn't work out. It could work out for many people because it was a maths program. So even in my optional, I thought that it might aid in my optional, but it could not aid in my optional. So, and I saw my prelim score hovering around say 40 to 50 marks in those two attempts. So then I know that, then I thought that, okay, I will quit and I will terminate my program and I will dedicatedly prepare for the civil services and that decision actually I'm very glad of today.
Yeah, of course. And it's also about backing your decision, because every decision brings a lot of unpredictability, uncertainty with it. Nobody can guarantee your success. But eventually, if you take bold decisions, I also believe that it kind of adds on to your character and personality as to what kind of person you are becoming overall. And that clarity, I believe, was also reflected through your work ethic, because you were very clear-headed in the fashion that what do you want to deliver or how much time do you want to spend in certain tasks so that you can balance out everything, because it is not very easy to, prepare and then deliver alongside, doing both the things alongside, because dealing with a lot of students could be sometimes little draining as well, because you have to deal with a lot of problems and of course, there is no one particular protocol which can be applied to everyone. Yes. One size doesn't fit all. So the next question is, when a student approached you while you were giving the mentorship in our program, so when a student approached you, how did you assess him or her, and how did you ensure that you are giving, the right personalized guidance to them? So how was it made possible?
So actually, a great role was that the team had already prepared such protocols for me. So it was very helpful in the toolkit which was prepared. So that was very effective in assessing the students. So we were having our Excel sheets and there was a RAM sheet also, a ham file. So where the students actually penned down their weaknesses and their strengths also, and what they expected from the program. And while personally, when they came for the interaction, so I assessed their whole story, what is their current state, and in which special areas they want to progress upon. So I think that much every mentor has to do. So, and it was done fructifully to the mentors, ma'am, I feel like.
Okay.
Mentees.
And you have, assessed a lot of students. So what are the pointers which makes you confident towards a student that this person is going to clear exam very easily? So what are those traits which you can observe?
One of the significant traits is the discipline and the consistency. Like, I have few mentees who have regularly contacted me, and even I was so surprised that even in 12 p.m. in the night, they are actually, if they have missed a test earlier, they are doing it and they're giving me the score sheet on my WhatsApp. And that level of dedication and consistency is the only key which I believe, because the talent can eventually fade away, or say per se, even if you have a good background, that if you do not have that discipline and consistency, that can fade away. But the people who have these two attributes have actually yielded, ma'am, I feel.
That's great. And in your overall experience, because I also know that this was one of your first jobs. So what have you learned yourself from the mentorship program?
So a lot, because one of the few virtues that we study in ethics, compassion and empathy, were actually being tested in front of me, and it helped me realize the importance of these two values. Secondly, the interaction with the students, it actually helped me a lot in the interview phase also. And thirdly, because we used to have current affairs discussion session with the mentees also, so that keep me in pace with my current affairs part also, ma'am. So, and the overall work and the team environment was very productive, and it was very encouraging. A lot of parties also happened, which gave a good morale boost. And yes,
Yeah. Okay, so Tejasva, it's very interesting what you've shared. The second thing is, so this is going to be like a quick game, okay? So you have to answer in one word only. So one trait to clear UPSC exam.
I would say discipline.
Okay. The biggest red flag in this journey.
Inconsistency.
Okay. What do you feel has helped you the most? It could be friends, books, you can take any name, anything. What has helped you the most? One name that is coming to your mind.
It's a difficult, because it's a sum total of all. So I'm not able to put it in a single word, ma'am.
Okay. Which is your favorite subject if you were not to give UPSC exam again?
I would say polity and law, because they have interested me the most.
So Tejasva has taken a lot of unconventional paths, from not making conventional notes to reading materials, and then being a very prolific student and all sorts of things. But one thing has been unique, that you have also not taken the foundation courses. So you have prepared for the whole exam by yourself, which is again very interesting, and it would also help a lot of students get encouragement. So give us insights as to how to compensate for that, because of course in foundation classes they get to learn a lot, and that too in a very specific amount of time. So how do you make sure that you are balancing productivity alongside learning things quickly and also revising it well? Like, how do you create a compensation for foundation?
So I believe that one of the fundamental things is that every toppers now have their own strategy on their webpage. So you can easily get the resources that they have used, the materials they have used. And everybody knows that NCRTs are the basic books. So the NCRTs they have a very prominent role. And I'm not just talking about your say geography, polity, history NCERTs. If you go onto the NCERT site and see your class 11th NCERT, a new NCERT, Knowledge Traditions in Ancient India, has come about. So read that NCERT. Read accountancy NCERTs also, because they have financial markets chapter. Go for the business studies NCERT also. Sociology NCERTs. So NCERTs are your building blocks and they will aid you a hell lot in your preparation, I would believe. So people generally miss this part, and you can have direct references of very good things from the NCERTs. Like there was a question in the mains, I remember 2022, like medieval Indian temple sculptures. Now, talking about medieval India, it's all about, although it's not about the Mughal architecture and the Delhi Sultanate architecture, but talking about specifically, they asked about the medieval Indian temple sculptures and their relevance in the social life at that point of time. So in NCERT, it gives a reference to the Jagannath Puri temple, and there the statue of the Lord is actually made of wood, and it talks about how the tribals assimilated into the upper caste, and therefore they made their statue of the wood there. So it talks about the Sanskritization also in that sense. You can quote these multiple interlinkages, and in NCERTs it is given.
Yeah, interesting.
So I believe that your foundation is your NCERTs, and you build upon your standard books then.
Okay. And as we are approaching the last leg of prelims exam, I can actually talk about on behalf of some of the students who would be feeling very discouraged to push themselves during this time. Because probably they have gone through a lot of multiple failures in prelims. Prelims has been a havoc in the last few years. And second, because they don't feel prepared. So what do you want to advise to them? Because I'm sure you have good advices.
I believe there are 30 days from now. So these 30 days are very important, because here, if you keep your mental health and this mental game very strong, so prelims is more about a mental game more also, because no matter how much you have prepared, your prelims is more about your mental game. So once you see the paper of the prelims, and if those 10 questions, you find it extremely hard, people feel demotivated then and there itself. And if you see 10 questions very easy, they get hyperactivated and they feel hyper excited. So most error comes out of these two situations. So in these 30 days, you must keep your mental health in check. You must be, I know it's easier said than done, but you must be involved in, go for a little walking activity, running activity. And then you must have your plans with you. Okay, this much revision is pending for certain subjects. This I have to revise. So do them diligently. And I remember that at last we used to keep those very factual things to be read at last 7 days. So they will be national parks or Ramsar sites or any very factual stuffs like UNESCO World Heritage sites, so that you can do it in your last 7 days. And I would certainly say that please keep your mental health very strong in these 30 days, because you might give mocks now and you will see that, okay, the score is not good enough. And especially because I know that I have failed prelims 2 times. So especially for those students who have not cleared prelims. So they have a huge baggage of the past also. So it keeps on piling up. And to them also, I will say that believe in the stoicism. What will happen at the end? It's you and your mental health, and you yourself will have to stay strong. So just keep that thing in mind and push it and give your best shot for the prelims.
That's great. So I hope that the message is clear to you. Do not feel disheartened at any time of the process. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. The next question is about the dichotomy in your personality traits that I have observed. So on one hand, you have been a very jolly person who used to laugh and smile. And on the other hand, you're a very disciplined, meditative, and very philosophical in your approach towards exam or towards your work. So you used to switch between these two personalities very quickly. So just tell me insights about this, that how are you able to separate these two very different things?
So this practice, I believe, has been through my college days itself. So I, whenever it's about work, I give my 100%. So and the rest thing, I know that I have to give I have to be fully funny, jolly, because then only those few hours where I have to be serious, I would be fully serious. So I try to keep everything, like I try to keep them in silos that one has not effect on others, because if we will keep while playing also something that okay, I have to go, why am I doing this, even when we are playing something, so that will actually, we will not feel happy from inside. So I believe at this point of juncture, like your empires of futures are empires of mind. So I believe that this was actually a essay which I have written in this paper only. And what for me it meant was that if you control your mind, then you have already built an empire. So I believe that's very important.
This has also been Krishna's philosophy, Lord Krishna, given in Bhagavad Gita, that the way to crack a path is to be playful around it.
Yes.
And which essentially is the doctrine of non-attachment.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So, of course, like I have witnessed somebody who has been practicing live practitioner of that doctrine. So it has been very interesting working with you. And Tejasva, just last few words, if you want to say anything about the entire UPSC journey, how has it been? Like, be very honest, how has it been so far?
So honestly speaking, that I thought I would have to give the attempt again, because my maths optional paper again did not went good. But I am finally relieved. It's a hell of a relief, and I am feeling very blessed. And to all my friends, parents, teachers, and everybody around me, and the whole and my last 6 to 7 months in Vajiram, and the entire team, I am very grateful. I can only say that.
So looking at you, Tejasva, I get this feeling that you were little cognitively capable since the very beginning, is what I get from the way you have chosen first the engineering degree, aced there, then you took the maths way, and then you have gone to UPSC and cracked that. So how were you when you were a child, in your schooling days, in your college days, and how your formative years have been like?
So all credits to my mother in my formative years, because she has sacrificed a lot. So she always wanted to be a government teacher. She couldn't do so. And I still remember that when I was little, she always wanted me to enroll into the best school. And she made me, in my initial, I think, first class or like LKG or UKG, she made me start practicing the cursive writing. And then she brought about in subsequent years some readers digest used to come, and she made me practice those mental ability tests. And she has a very significant impact, because she sacrificed her. So we have never went on a vacation in my whole childhood till 12th, and also not family dinners. So she was all on to myself. She wanted me, she sacrificed herself so that I could become something, because and I think that has given that cognitive push in my formative years, I believe.
Have you ever felt pressurized because of this, or were you enjoying this?
So a little, the memory is less, but I would say that there was never a relative comparison per se. So I was feeling, I think it was a very rapid process, and so at that point of time, I was never felt pressurized per se.
And now you feel blessed that all that has happened to you?
Yes,
because it helps you naturally grasp information very quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
Your friends also tell you the same thing, that you are able to remember things very quickly.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a very good, that's an added advantage that mothers provide us, play a very big role in an aspirant's journey.
Yes, ma'am.
And creating a success story.
Grateful, ma'am.
And the one question that I believe everybody would be wanting me to ask: was the pain and hustle so far, was it worth it?
Yes, it was absolutely worth it. Getting into the Indian Administrative Services has been my a dream, and it is finally yielded. And I'm very grateful that I will be able to work into such a prestigious institution and do the service to my country.
That's great. So here we are done with one of the most dynamic toppers of this year, Tejasva. And if you want to learn more insights about the mentorship ecosystem that Vajiram has, please join in the Step Up Mentorship Program, which you can do by scanning the QR code given over here or contacting us on the numbers over here. Thank you so much, students. Have a nice day.